Welcome. My name is Doug Simcox, and this is Beyond the Chutes. New York has been part of rodeo for more than 60 years. Today is May 6th, 2023, and we are talking with Sam Swearingen about last night's PBR Velocity Tours Finals Round 1. And I'm going to be pressing Sam to make some predictions. Sam, are you there, and how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Doug?
I am
Hope
good.
everything is well.
I am good. I am good. You know, I'm sitting here in Taylorsville, Kentucky, just outside of Louisville, and you know what today is? First Saturday in May. You know what today is?
Kentucky Derby Day for you.
Kentucky Derby Day. So I talked about earlier about pressing you to make some predictions. That's what we're into here in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby. So I'm going to press you to make some predictions here today. So let's start
Good.
off. I'm going to start off with a big topic. Thank goodness Dalen is back.
Yes. We I heard Dalen was going to get on some practice bulls last week, and I called him up and had a discussion. It was kind of one way, and was ripping on him pretty good, saying, "Why would you do this? You know what are you thinking? You got 2 months before the team thing. Why don't you wait another month? Give it time." Typical thing that somebody that cares about your situation would do.
Mhm.
And through all this, and I said, unless you got a plan, you know, there's no reason to do it. No reason whatsoever to get on a month earlier than you have to. And he let me rip him, basically.
Right.
And when I was done, he said, "I got a plan."
Huh.
And I said, "Okay, what's your plan?" And he told me. So, yeah, he got on bulls before the Louisville event
Mm-hmm.
um, that you and I both went to and watched.
Yep.
It was outstanding.
Yep.
But when I got back to Oklahoma, he said he's getting on some practice bulls at his house. And so I jumped in the truck and ran down there
Mm-hmm.
to watch. Didn't have any help, so I finally let the old fat guy do a little something. Usually he says, "Sit over there, don't do nothing, you're going to get hurt,"
Yeah.
that scenario.
Right.
But he got on two practice bulls there, rode really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first one bucked really good. The second one was just a bull, but he rode well. One was into his hand, one was away from his hand, and rode them both pretty easy. So his plan was to go to the Velocity Finals and come in the back door and win that and go to the PBR Finals. Well, as we know, it didn't work out too good last night with a bull that was just kind of miserable to ride. It
Mm-hmm.
leaped way in the air with no kick and just kind of, not saying he shouldn't have rode him because he should ride every one he gets on, but
Mm-hmm.
it would have been very tricky to do it.
Okay. Okay. So where is he on recovery of the injury? What can you tell us there?
I called him the next day
Mm-hmm.
after he rode because as that day, a lot of times you don't feel it really bad till the next day.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "No, I feel good. I feel good." And I pressed him a little more. I said, "You should be sore. You should be a little sore for just getting on bulls." "No, I feel good. I feel good." And then he did say he was a little sore, but I don't think it was anything more than appease me to shut me up.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
really, as far as I can tell, it looks really good.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. And no complaints after last night's round.
By him,
Yeah. As far as
I
injury, I mean soreness, he hasn't indicated anything.
no, and I haven't talked to him.
Oh.
I usually don't. I just let it go till the
Okay.
event's over.
Okay.
Because you know how we all have opinions, and unless there's something that I seen that was way off that I think I can help him with, I
Okay,
just let him do his job, and
got it.
uh, Lord knows he does it as well as anybody. So I just stay out of the way.
For sure, for sure. And exciting to see him back. I'm just so happy that he's back, and let's keep him healthy and keep him getting warmed up like he has been. So let's shift to what we saw last night. There were 12 qualified rides. Rafael Jose de Bitro took the lead with 87 and three quarters points. Nick Tetz is behind him, Canadian bull rider, 87 and a quarter. And Montelido de Souza Jr. is there with an 87. So those are your top three as we go in this evening. Just kind of a quick summary. And we're going to talk a little bit about the bull that Rafael Jose de Brito got on last night, just here in a little bit. So last night, Dalen, he was on Sin City, right-hand delivery bull. We've already talked a little bit about that. In tonight's round, Dalen is on Red River. Now, this is a UTCS, UTC, Sellers Bucking Bulls. The Bulls had 7 outs, 72% buck off, average score 42.5. Carlos Garcia rode him earlier this year for 85.5 points. What do you think?
Well, I said years ago when Dalen was wrestling, I never bet against him.
Mm-hmm.
And, it might not always come out that way, but I think Dalen rides him. It's probably about 86, 87 points.
I like that. Excellent. Moving to Josh Frost. He comes in leading the points. He's also sitting number 2 in the PRCA championship run for the NFR. Last night he bucked off a bull called Sugar Smack. Now the Sugar Smack is a left-hand delivery. What's your comments about last night? What you saw with Josh?
Bull bucked. Bull was really good bull. Nothing that Josh shouldn't have rode 9 times out of 10, probably. I think today Josh is probably feeling it and saying, "What the heck happened? Why?"
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get where he's at and dwell on stuff. So I think he puts out his mind and comes back strong. What does he have today?
Yeah, absolutely. Simp of the Ferris Cattle Platinum Bull Company, right-hand bull delivery, been out only 6 times. Buck-off's about 50%. Average score is 42. Brian Tittman rode him earlier this year for 86.5 points.
Well, if it's a 50% bull buck-off, I'd say he rides him pretty easy.
Okay.
He's much better bull rider than 50% of the guys.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about Northeastern, a fellow from the Northeast. This cowboy is from Fredonia, Pennsylvania, Grayson Cole, and he bucked off last night off Eunice Brody Pet, right-hand bull last night. Tell me a little bit about that ride, and tell me a little backstory on Grayson Cole.
Well, that ride last night, that bull was kind of similar like Dalen's, just hard to get there on. I mean, just no kick and leaped in the air, one jump and stumbled real bad, and I thought it bucked Grayson off right away. But I think the bull, when it came down, kind of set Grayson up and really started a great ride. Rode him 7-6 or something like that, and jerked him down right at the whistle. But Grayson, he tried his guts out.
Mm-hmm.
And Tuesday, when Dalen was getting on practice bulls, Grayson was there, and he got on one and went into his hand, bull buck really good. Kind of left there funky, and Grayson rode him through that real good and made a nice bull ride. So Grayson can ride. Ride's good. His backstory, when I was putting on a high school rodeo, and Dalen was still in junior high, and here's this other young man was there. There was maybe just 3 kids in the junior bull riding that year, and I had some bulls that bucked a little bit, but not real strong. And they actually, I think all 3 of them rode their bull the first day, and so I stepped it up the second day. Had bulls that turned back. They didn't really buck, but they turned back and were good for the kids. So I put those 3 bulls in there, and Grayson, one of them jumped out, turned back to the right. Grayson rode him and made a whale of a bull ride. A whale of a bull ride. And somebody said something like, wow, no, Dalen, he's got to watch out for him. And I smiled, slapped the guy in the back. I said, he is the best thing that happened to Dalen. Got some competition.
Oh.
I said, this is wonderful. We're going to be able to, these boys will push each other.
Right.
And make each other better. And it did, they pushed each other. And here I'm going to go back to a wrestling thing again. Whenever you see somebody in a finals, not all the time, but usually their teammate, there'll be one above or below that is in there also, because they pushed each other. They made each other better.
Yep.
So that's what I want in the bull riding scenario also.
That's
Smiled all day long when he made that bull ride. And I said, Lord, this will be good. For both of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And great to have another cowboy from the Northeast, Pennsylvania, and all the connections there. Yep. Tonight, he's on Marciano. This is a Show Me Rodeo Diamond W Bucking Bull. Left-hand delivery, 23 outs, buck-off percent, 61 points. Mason Taylor was 89 points on this bull at the Unleash the Beast event in Albany this year. What's your prediction?
Well, I'm not going to predict against Grayson. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't get a hump in his back. I think this bull is a little bit back up in him and might want to try to bring him down. But if Grayson can stay strong in his core, I think he rides him.
So what's it mean to get a hump in your back?
You want to get out over these bulls so that you take the power away from them.
Okay.
But when you do, if you bend at your stomach instead of poke your chest out and reaching forward, that will, if you bend at your stomach, it will click your heels and they'll come up and hit you in the butt. Your spurs will hit you in the butt, and it's pretty hard to stay there. But if you can reach for the front, that'll keep that back straight and let you keep your spurs in.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
Grayson doesn't ride with a lot of spur. He knees up a lot, and which will help on a bull of this like this.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. Another cowboy that I want to talk about from the Northeast. I've been around for a while. Actually was riding a few years ago in the Hardway Bull Riding Association, that association that you created several years ago. Carlo Garcia. Bucked off last night. Whoops, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Bucked off Desert Twister, right-hand bull last night. I thought made a great start on the bull. What do you think?
Yeah, he started that bull really good, and I thought he's got him, Yeah. And then I seen his chin come up.
Okay.
And once his chin comes up, Carlos is kind of a big boy.
He is. And
he needs to fight to keep that down, because then his whole upper body come up and all the pressure goes on his hand.
Okay.
And boom, blew him out of there. But I thought he was going to ride that bull pretty easy until I seen that. Oh, I was grabbing my head and pulling it down. Uh, and and there you go. There's the fine line from bending at the stomach or keeping the chin down and reaching forward.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. If your chin comes up, it's very difficult to ride these. But that's what happened to Carlos when his chin came up. The bull just kind of beat him and rolled him around there and threw him out of it. But Carlos, good kid. Good kid. I'm not going to say he started at my house because there was another bull riding place down by where he was from. Yeah. But came up when he was probably 14, 15, 16 years old and rode there at the house about every time we had one.
You bet.
So
you bet.
Good kid. I called him Jerry Garcia all the time.
Okay. That's what you were starting to say earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just got me used to saying, "Hey, Jerry, come here. Hey, Jerry, this is what you need to change. Hey, Jerry."
Yeah.
Just because of the Garcia name, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Probably only us old folks will understand that.
Yeah.
What that means.
Whatever your favorite ice cream happens to be, right? Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
No. George, of course, you're referring to the Grateful Dead.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't know anything about music, but for some reason I know that. I don't know. I don't know their song. I don't know nothing, but I have heard the name Jerry Garcia before.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, tonight he's got a heck of a draw. He's drawn Axel Surgeon. Now, this is left-hand bull, Halpane bucking bulls, 21 outs, 48% buck off. Average score is 42. Last night, Rafael Jose de Brito wins the round on this bull with 87.5 points.
Well, he's going to have to keep his chin down. Mm-hmm. This bull rides good, rides really good, but you got to keep hustling. He's going to have to ride for 10, and I don't know if he'll stay around that corner all the time. You know, I just hate to pick against the guys, and I guess it's already shown up. You asked me about guys that I said they're all going to ride. But I'd love to see him ride, but I don't know if he's going to ride him for 10. If he does, he rides him, no problem, but he probably bucks off.
If he rides him, how many points can Carlo be on him?
86, 87.
Okay.
You know, to be a lot more, he's going to have to really dress him up.
Okay. So I'm going to press you for some predictions now, and you have been giving me some predictions as we went. So let's start easy. Let's start simple. Who wins tonight's round?
Well, I'm not going to bet against Dalen. I haven't looked at all the draw and everything, but I just say Dalen.
Dalen wins tonight. Okay.
Could be a little partial. Could be.
I'm with you. I'm pulling. I mean, you can't bet against him. Absolutely.
No.
So then this is the next question, Sam. Can you win the finals on two bulls? Meaning you get enough score tonight, and as we looked at our standings, it's possible to sneak in there if guys buck off. They take the top 12 back, I believe, to the championship round. Get a good score tonight. Can you win it on two head? What's your prediction?
Can you? Yes. Will you? No.
No.
I think there will be a few guys ride three bulls.
Okay.
You know, stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very, very much stranger things have happened, but I just don't. Looking at the caliber of bulls they had there, they were good bulls. They weren't great bulls. I think they ride three.
Okay.
Probably three guys ride three bulls.
Three guys ride three bulls. So now you've narrowed it down, and I got to ask this question. Then who wins the finals?
Kentucky Derby Day, right?
Kentucky Derby Day. You can't not. You got to make a prediction.
Okay. Well, I'll go with the dark bull. nobody would ever think.
Really?
And
Okay. Okay.
I say low snacky.
Oh,
Vitor, low
okay.
snacky.
Okay. Okay.
He's
Vitor. So he was 83.5 points last night, sitting in 11th place in the
that
leaderboard.
far down.
That
Boy,
far down.
I did pick a dark bull,
Boy,
didn't I?
you did. You want to stick with that?
I'm going to.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like where he's taking so much time in the box. I
Right.
think he's thinking it through too much.
Okay.
But if he just quits thinking and rides, that kid can ride. He can
Okay.
really ride.
Okay. Well, that is absolutely excellent to hear. So more predictions. Let's step away now a little bit. We're not far away from the next week. Actually, we start the PBR World Finals, and on the heels of that, is going to be the draft. Last year's first draft, we had an interesting trade. Dalen was part of it. I love the drama there. So let's talk about some of your predictions. And these are just predictions. So we've got some Cowboys. Stetson Wright's been in the buzz. What's your prediction about him coming out for the draft?
I have heard through the rumor mill that he's not.
He's not.
That's just a rumor.
Uh-huh.
But I don't. Pretty reliable source. I don't think he is.
He's not coming out for the draft. Okay. The other one that's kind of caught our attention, he's got 7 world titles, and he's got 3 Wrangler NFR average titles. Of course, I'm talking about Sage Kimzey. He was one of the commentators last year. He was injured, and he did a lot with the teams. So what's the word on Sage Kimzey?
I think he does come out. If you would have asked me this question 2 weeks ago, would have been the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said Stetson would come out, Sage wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think looking at it, he was involved last year and thought, wow, this is neat. They can pick your bulls to get on. I'm going to be able to not travel a lot. Traveling is huge once you get around 30 years old. And I don't know how old Sage is. He's got to be around that age. Mm-hmm. He's got a family. You don't want to travel, and you can get paid to do what you love without going 5 days a week on the road. Mm-hmm. You can go 2 or 3 mm-hmm. and be home and enjoy your family. I think he does. I don't know this for a fact, and you might say, look, we ought to have a show one of these times of predictions, how bad you did.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on this, absolutely. Along those lines, PRCA Cowboy Josh Frost, I believe he is declared for the draft.
Yeah, and I kind of knew he was coming out.
Okay.
He was the one that I was pretty sure would come out, and as we know, my favorite team, the Carolina Cowboys, have first pick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And do you go with Josh? Do you go, if Sage comes out, do you go with Sage? My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
What a tough pick. Last year when I was at the draft, and they were drafting, and they drafted Dalen third, and then the second round came around, and Tiffany Davis kept looking up at me and smiling. Mm-hmm. I told the guy sitting next to me, I said, something's going on. Mm-hmm. Something's mm-hmm. happening here. I don't know what's going on, but she kept looking up and smiling, and then she made like cross her fingers thing, and I said, well, something's right. And then they came out with what they did, getting Dalen on a trade. And this isn't going out on much of a limb, if Sage does come out, what do you do between Josh and Sage? Mm-hmm. Josh is young and gritty. Mm-hmm. Sage is old and smart. If you want to win this year, you probably go with Sage. And not that you couldn't with Josh. Either one, I think they could win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So okay. I think we want to pick up on this a little bit later. I want you to stew on that for just a moment, okay? So here's and the Carolina Cowboys, absolutely, we're all rooting for them. Of course, they're East Coast. I mean, how can we not? Dalen's on the team. Jerome Davis is the coach. Richard Childress, who of course is Richard Childress Racing, has purchased that team. Really giving it a good foundation. And as we've talked, I absolutely love that connection with NASCAR. So here's my question. You've got Sage Kimzey still actively riding PRCA. You've got Josh Frost currently sitting number 2 in the points championship PRCA. He is getting qualified for the NFR. So here's the question: between the end of the PBR finals, right, which kicks off next week for 2 weekends, teams doesn't start up until Cheyenne in late July. Here's the question: you are a team owner. Do you let them ride other events after you've signed them?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're worried about somebody getting hurt out there and doing things, it just, you're too protective.
Okay.
Okay. That's what these guys do. They ride bulls. Josh Forrest gets on bulls every day. Sage Kensing, maybe not as much, but he's going to be smart about it, and you can get hurt walking across the road, I don't think you can let that get in your mind. And if you told Josh Frost, don't go get on bulls, it'd probably drive him nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally know him, but the personality, it looks like he is a worker and a goer.
Okay.
And, Dalen being off for these 4 months, he was so itching to get on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you might set him down and say, okay, let's use your head. If there's one you don't like or it doesn't fit you, you're not going to place on,
Mm-hmm.
don't get on him.
Right.
Other than that, do what you do. It's life. You gotta, back to a wrestling scenario. Dalen made states in New York wrestling. He said they had a week off between. He said, can I go to a rodeo? And I said, yep. Because that's what we wrestled to rodeo,
Right.
He goes out there, horse falls on him,
Mm-hmm.
breaks his foot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gets on his bull, places in the bull riding. I'm thinking, and I didn't go. I had to stay and feed. Carrie took the boys and went up to the rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way home, Carrie said, it's not good, it swelled up pretty bad, and we take him to the doctors. And at first they said it wasn't broke, and I thought, oh, well, that's good.
Right.
He might, but he couldn't put any weight on it at all. And I said, well, there's something,
Yeah.
And then they called back another day later and say, no, it is broke. We missed something.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Needless to say, I was parent of the year to the coaches, and
No doubt.
because they're, until it happens, you don't know, but I'm 99% sure Dalen would have been New York State champion, which is now no little task. And at that level, people live it just like we do rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's in the past, but you can't.
Great example.
You can't protect these guys. You can't protect them. It's what they do.
For sure. Sure. Yeah. And the only reason I bring it up is we're seeing more and more of this in NASCAR right now. We had a racer that races on Sunday, right? Top level for Hendricks, and he's racing dirt sprint cars during the week and ends up with a compound fracture of his back. Okay.
Oh.
And so they're starting to ask this. Should we limit? We want them to work on their racecraft, just like we want them to work on their bull riding skills. So I love the debate, and I think you've given a great point. So let me shift away from bull riding just a little bit. Catch us up on Colton. Colton, the shoulder update. We know that he took a horn on steer wrestling under his shoulder, in his armpit. Give me some update on that.
Yeah. When I left to go back to New York 2 weeks ago or whatever, it seems like yesterday because I've been in the truck so much. But he could barely lift his arm. It wasn't good. And then he tells me he's going to Diamond and all these rodeos, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you thinking? Let it heal up, get it good, and he didn't do any good at the first round at Diamond. He broke out, and he was late. And breaking out is something that does not bother me at all at this level. Everybody's so good. If you don't try, you might as well stay home.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you just have to get better at and get a feel for. I think I'm not a time inventor, but if you try to win, that doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
But second round, he split second, third, and fourth, I think. And I don't know how many bulldoggers there was. There's probably at least 100 there.
Oh, my. Okay.
Which is good. It paid about $1,500, he said. So,
wow.
So he did well. He did well. I'm proud of him. I can't believe the arm held up, but he must be a little tougher than I am.
Well, what's he saying about the arm? Where is it?
He said he's good. He was here yesterday. Said it feels good. He's going to more rodeos. Actually going to Corpus Christi Monday to a rodeo.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
I wish I would have been able to go down and watch Dale and stay there for Colton, but he wasn't going to come back, and I was going to stay and feed for him. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Very, very positive on that end.
Okay.
You don't place at that rodeo and not feel good.
Absolutely. No, that is absolutely excellent. I'm so excited his arm is back. He's recuperating. And a great catch, it sounds like, at Guyman. So absolutely perfect. Anything else we haven't covered, Sam?
Oh, no, I think we're pretty good till next week when the PBR finals come. I'm not sure if I'm going down the first week. I would have if Dale would have made it, but maybe I am.
Okay.
Stranger things have happened, and we'll keep praying and see how it goes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then one final prediction you've got to make. I did mention that today they're running at Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby. I believe this is the 149th running of that race. Do you have a prediction? A horse?
Okay, I don't know why, Doug. Because I don't even know any of the horses. I don't know nothing. But
yeah.
Do you know who the number 4 horse is?
I don't. But you're going with the number
check
4
that
horse.
Out.
All right.
Go with the number 4. When you said, do you have a prediction, 4 came in my head.
4 came in your head. All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And
I don't know if it means 4 not to win, but
but your prediction is number 4.
Take the 4 horse.
I will look it up. And when we next talk, I will remember this, and we will follow up on your predictions. And you've given us a lot of great ones here today.
Okay. Do you want one for what the Carolina Cowboys will do? Or is that for another day?
Let's save that for another day. For another day. And I think we're going to be talking pretty soon. Okay. So keep your predictions in your pockets.
And that could change by week to week.
That's okay. We want the starting, and it's not going to be as simple as, who's going to win it all? The Carolina Cowboys. No. Who are your top 3 picks? Who's going to get that top seeding as we head into Las Vegas?
Okay.
Sam, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for calling in, and thank you to our listeners rather. This is Doug Simcox. This is Beyond the Chutes. Have a good day.
Thank you, Doug.